Greetings, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to be looking at what we need now in leadership. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the 10th year of the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and three-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, Japan Presentations Mastery, and my new book, Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Muda ni Suru no wa Yamimashou. And all of my books are available on Amazon. This podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan. Trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcast. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday, the Business Touches in no Oshie show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show podcast. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is Iraira suru. Iraira suru. Iraira suru. It is so irritating. I'm irritated. Iraira suru. This is so irritating. Iraira suru. Iraira suru. Something happens, you don't like it, and you just say, Iraira suru. This is irritating. It is irritating. It is so irritating. Iraira suru. Iraira suru. This is episode number 490, 490. And today we are talking about companies in Japan need real leadership right now. As a training company, we are the canary in the coal mine about commercial trends and corporate shortfalls. During our recent Sales Consultants Forum, we were discussing client needs, and the same theme kept coming up. Companies are asking about leadership skills around better communication between middle managers and subordinates. What is driving this? More than, say, sales training or presentation skills needs. One answer can be COVID-19. A lot of industries were hammered by COVID, and companies had to reduce their team sizes. With fewer staff, fewer managers were needed. These managers are being replaced now that COVID is being contained, or at least a perception is there that it is being contained. It would seem the Japanese government would like to move forward and are doing whatever they can to achieve a change in the citizenry's mentality about the pandemic. The borders have been opened up, and that nightly map of the case numbers in every prefecture has mysteriously disappeared from the NHK 7 p.m. news broadcasts. Being hired as a new manager or continuing as a manager has been made more difficult by the diaspora to the suburbs, as workers have shunned the office for their own homes as the new workplace. Every company is struggling with what to do next. Do we keep everyone working at home, or do we force them back into the office? Do we go for a split shift where some work on certain days of the week and the rest work on the remaining days? Do we have people in 1 day a week, or 2 days a week, or 3 days a week? What do we do about onboarding new hires? And that includes newly hired managers. Many clients tell us that sending everyone home was like the tide going out, and all the defects of the ocean floor, the rocks and the flotsam and jetsam, were revealed. Leaders who could not lead a dispersed workforce were exposed and outed as incompetent. There is no doubt that leading a remote workforce is considerably more difficult than having everyone under your stern gaze in the office. Are they really working at home? Are they goofing off? How can you tell? The issue of communication has already been flagged as a problem. Trying to phone anyone at home seems to be very difficult. You call, but they don't pick up the phone. You leave a message, but they don't call you back. Why? What are they doing? You have to relay the same piece of information numerous times to different people because you have limited interaction opportunities with everyone at the same time. In the office, you could just grab people and hold an impromptu meeting or just yell out to someone across the work floor about what you wanted. Find out more. We come back from the break. On the 30th of November, we'll be doing our Dale Carnegie course. That's also, again, doing the same program starting on the 7th of December. So 2 Dale Carnegie courses back to back there. One at the end of November, one at the early part of December. It's our flagship course. This is really unique. Can't get this anywhere but with us. This is a program that so many graduates tell me was life-changing for them. And I am not surprised when they tell me that. It is that type of program. On the 12th of December, we'll be doing our Leadership Training for Managers program. This is the best, most practical, most straightforward management training program you will ever have the chance to do because it's got all of the nitty-gritty practical stuff you need as a leader in there. Not a lot of fluffy theory and, a lot of aspirational stuff about how things should be. This is actually how to do it. This is a how-to training program. How to be a leader. What you need to be doing. How to coach. How to communicate. How to discipline. How to deal with mistakes. How to do the planning. How to get innovation. How to do the performance reviews. How to run the meetings. It's got everything you need in it. Perfect program for people who need to become excellent in leadership. Our website is www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. That's www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have nearly 2,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on the topic of leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget to grab my business books on Japan on Amazon. Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese. Japan Business Mastery, Japan Presentations Mastery, and Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de okane o muda ni suru no wa yamimashou. Welcome back. Add to this the poor time management skills of most bosses, and the problems balloon in proportion. A disorganized boss is going to have a lot of trouble keeping across what a remote team is up to. Funnily enough, some people are like ninja at exploiting the boss's lack of ability to manage their own time. And they find more escape routes than a sieve. They don't do what they are supposed to do and rely on the fact the boss cannot get sufficiently well organized to keep track of them. These days, the boss has fewer arrows in the quiver too. Given the population decline has meant there are more opportunities for people to jump ship and go somewhere else if you try and manage them too closely. The whole discipline of work has been upended, and the usually successful supervision techniques are now unworkable. Staff retention is the new gold standard of bossability. That means regardless of the many obstacles placed in front of bosses, they have to find ways to keep close communication conduits going with their staff. This is in spite of how much the staff may try to avoid it or how complex the logistics become. Bosses have to be better organized around their time usage and are now required a higher degree of remote work micromanagement than before. This is a very tricky balance and not easy to get right, but that degree of touch with the staff has to be carefully calculated. Too close a scrutiny becomes suffocating for some and they leave. too loose and the work isn't getting done, results fade, and the goofing off erodes the culture, discipline, and loyalty to the cause. Boss retraining is definitely a rising topic for us when talking to clients, and we can see why. The really scary thought is, what about those companies who fulfill Einstein's definition of insanity? Doing the same old things but expecting a better result. They keep on keeping on and won't face the new reality. If companies don't recognize things have morphed and they need to change how they manage people, then they will be spending a lot of money recruiting hard-to-come-by replacements and losing a lot of corporate knowledge as experienced people walk out the door to competitors. There is always a lot of strife when replacing people, as you have to train the new hires and also take a hit on results and productivity until they get up to speed. Stasis is not an option anymore. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then tell your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. You can contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Our website is www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. Until the next episode, take what you thought valuable, put it into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. So be one of them. Remember, I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.